People who went against their family or cultural expectations to pursue love. How did it turn out for you? I remember when I was 19 years old and my family began talking to me about their expectations for my future. They had always been traditional, and I knew that they would eventually bring up the topic of an arranged marriage. Up until that point, I had never really thought about it because it seemed so far off in the future. But when they sat me down and began discussing the possibility of marriage, my heart sank. In my culture, marriage is not just about two people falling in love and starting a life together. It's about joining two families together, about maintaining tradition and preserving our heritage. And while I understood the importance of all of that, I couldn't help feeling like I was being robbed of my own agency and independence. The idea of not being able to choose my own partner or even my own future was suffocating, and I knew I had to do something. So I began sneaking around, going on dates with guys I met on dating apps, keeping it all hidden from my family. I knew I was taking a huge risk, but the possibility of finding love on my own terms was worth it. One summer, I met a guy named Jacob. He was different than any guy I had ever met. He didn't care about tradition or culture, he just cared about me. We fell deeply in love, and I was convinced that he was the one. But the idea of introducing him to my family, of potentially destroying the life they had planned for me, was terrifying. So I kept him hidden, snuck around with him behind closed doors. Eventually, my family caught me. They were furious, disappointed, hurt. They couldn't understand why I would throw away everything they had worked so hard to achieve. They told me that I was selfish, that I was breaking their hearts. And for a while, I believed them. But then, something inside of me shifted. I began to question the very culture and tradition that I had been raised in. I began to see that love and independence were worth fighting for, that sometimes we must challenge the societal norms in order to truly find ourselves. I was determined to make my own path, and I knew that I had to make a decision. So I chose love and freedom over tradition and expectation. I married Jacob, without my family's blessing, and started a life on my own terms. Now, years later, I am grateful for the journey that led me to where I am today. I am grateful for the love that I found, and for the strength that it took to go against everything that I was raised to believe. And while there are still moments where I feel the weight of tradition and culture bearing down on me, I know that I am exactly where I am meant to be. But I can't help but wonder, what would have happened if I had chosen differently? What would have been the consequences of going against my family's wishes? I may never know the answers to these questions, but I am determined to make the most of the life I have chosen.